You didn't build a life, you built a cage, one lifestyle upgrade at a time, and the name of the architect who designed it, lifestyle creep. You just never saw the blueprint. Look around, the couch you financed, the car payment you rationalized as reasonable, the subscription stack running quietly in the background, bleeding you every month before you even check the balance. From the outside, this is what success looks like. Someone who works hard, someone who deserves what they have. But here's what nobody tells you: that image, the one you've been building, might be the most expensive thing you'll ever purchase. And the receipt, you haven't seen it yet. Every upgrade you accept as normal is compounding against you right now, not someday. Now, each time your baseline rises, the minimum level of spending that makes your life feel acceptable, the gap between where you are and where your money could be working grows wider. Lifestyle creep has no off switch, and it is not waiting for you to notice it. Here's the number I need you to sit with: 90 days. If your primary income stopped today, not forever, just for 90 days, how long before the life you've built starts cracking at the seams? Not for someone living paycheck to paycheck on minimum wage. For you, someone earning good money, living somewhere decent, driving something reasonable, carrying the subscriptions, the car note, the rent or mortgage check that assumes this income never misses a beat. The data is uncomfortable. A significant portion of Americans with six-figure household incomes would face real financial distress within 3 months of job loss. Not broke in the traditional sense. Distressed, unable to maintain the exact lifestyle they built. That's not an income problem, that's a lifestyle architecture problem. And once you understand the mechanism behind it, you won't look at a comfort upgrade the same way again. It always begins invisibly. The way the most dangerous things do: you get a raise, good. Then without consciously deciding anything, the apartment gets better, well, you can afford it now. Then the car lease, then the restaurants, then the vacations that feel proportional to the new version of you. None of it feels like excess. Each upgrade feels exactly right for who you're becoming. That is the architecture of lifestyle creep. It doesn't announce itself, it raises your floor. And here's what makes it genuinely lethal. Your baseline, the minimum spending that makes your life feel okay, rises in lockstep with every upgrade. This isn't weakness, it's biology. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. The apartment that thrilled you at $60,000 a year is invisible background noise at $90,000. So you upgrade, the treadmill accelerates. You work harder, earn more, and never gain ground. This mechanism creates the debt-to-income trap. Your income looks strong on paper, but your debt-to-income ratio, the percentage of every dollar already committed before you've made a single deliberate choice, quietly moves toward the danger zone. The car note, the insurance stack, the subscriptions, the credit card minimum, the rent, run the numbers. What remains isn't wealth, it's just room to breathe. Now meet the final lock on the cage, the golden handcuffs. This is the job you'd renegotiate tomorrow if you could, but you can't, not because it's fulfilling, because your lifestyle demands every dollar of that paycheck. You upgraded your life to match your income, which means your income is now non-negotiable. You're not building towards something. You're maintaining the level you accidentally accepted as normal. You've become the most productive prisoner in a very comfortable cell. Here's what the financial conversation almost never explains clearly enough. There are two groups of people who look wealthy. They live in the same neighborhoods. Their kids go to the same schools. On the surface, they are indistinguishable, but their balance sheets are completely different species. The first group, call them the visible rich, spend to signal. The car broadcasts income. The watch tells the room they've arrived. The vacation photo is a press release. Every dollar they accumulate gets immediately converted into proof that the accumulation happened. Their net worth is a costume they wear in public. The second group, the invisible wealthy, build assets that pay them. Index funds growing quietly every quarter. Real estate generating equity while they sleep. A diversified portfolio producing income that compounds whether they show up to work or not. Their net worth is invisible, and it is real. The dangerous illusion is this: the visible rich look like success. The invisible wealthy look ordinary. Ask yourself honestly, which model is your current lifestyle actually imitating? You already know the rule of 72. Divide 72 by your annual return rate and you see how many years it takes for your money to double. But nobody applies this version. Flip it, point it at your comfort upgrades. Every lifestyle expense that delays your wealth building carries a compounding cost that grows for decades. That car payment isn't just draining you this month. At even 6% opportunity cost, you're paying for the compound return you're not earning on that money over the next 20 years. The apartment eating 40% of your income instead of 25% isn't just expensive in March. It's expensive in your retirement planning, in your emergency fund, in your eventual financial independence. Every year you delay this shift isn't a neutral year. It's a year the invisible wealthy are pulling further ahead. Your peers quietly building assets aren't luckier. They're using the same 24 hours you're spending on comfort upgrades to build something that compounds, and that 90-day clock, it's still running. Stop for a moment and pull up your accounts. Not the income number, the liquid number. Cash accessible in 72 hours without penalties or borrowing. How many months of your actual lifestyle, the real one, every line item, does that number cover? If the answer is less than 3 months, you are technically insolvent against any real disruption. High income, clean apartment, reasonable car, professional reputation, and technically insolvent. That's not a character failure. That's what lifestyle creep does to intelligent, hardworking people who simply never confronted it directly. Here's the paradox that will reorganize the way you think about your money. If you want to keep your lifestyle, the real version, the one with actual freedom underneath it, you have to dismantle it first. Not permanently, not through misery or extreme frugality, but you need to deliberately create separation between your income and your expenses long enough and with enough intention to redirect that gap toward assets that generate returns. This is the wealth flywheel. It starts slowly. That's how all flywheels start. The first index fund contribution feels irrelevant. The high-yield savings account feels boring. The early real estate equity moves slow, but the flywheel is turning. And at a certain velocity, once your assets generate enough passive income to cover meaningful portions of your actual cost of living, something irreversible happens. Your dependency on the job changes. The golden handcuffs lose their grip. You can renegotiate your career, your hours, your direction, because you're no longer one missed paycheck away from the lifestyle collapsing. This is what separates retirement planning as a distant abstraction from building real financial escape velocity right now in your 30s, while time still works in your favor. Index funds, high-yield savings, real estate equity, portfolio diversification. These aren't sophisticated tools reserved for people who already have wealth. They're the architecture of the invisible wealthy, available to anyone willing to create the separation before adding the next upgrade. The shift isn't complicated to describe. Executing it is. Stop measuring your financial health by how your life looks. Start measuring it by your asset-to-liability ratio. How many things do you own that grow, generate income, or preserve value? How many things drain it every month without returning anything? Every month, the single goal is to move $1 more from the liability column into the asset column. That's not a complex wealth management strategy. That's a direction, and directions compound. Wealth building doesn't require earning more. It requires converting more of what you already earn into things that grow. Kill the upgrade that doesn't move that ratio. Replace it with an investment that does. Do this consistently, and the flywheel builds momentum you can feel. Eventually, the assets fund the lifestyle, and by then, lifestyle means something entirely different than what you're protecting today. There's one question nobody asks when they're signing the lease on the better apartment. Not whether they can afford the monthly payment. That math you already know. The real question is, who are you building this for? Because if the honest answer is the version of yourself that needs to look successful, the cage just got another bar. But if the answer is the version of yourself who no longer needs outside validation to confirm the decision, that's the first morning the wealth flywheel actually starts to turn. Subscribe if you're ready to stop polishing the bars and start building the exit.